Oh yeah, Sam Sulek. If you look at his videos, they're really, really simple. It's just like a certain camera angle, good quality camera, which helps him. Good quality camera, and he just sits in front of the camera, and he's like either Orange County. Okay, I'm from Bay Area. I lived in Concord, California. But if you look at Sulek's videos, he's either lifting some heavy ass weight, or he's eating, or driving, and millions of people watch his videos. You're like, well, there's nothing special about the videos, right? It's not. There's there's no serious editing. The videos are really long form. It's continual. So if he's sitting there talking to you as he's eating his giant bowl of cinnamon toast crunch, he's not cutting anything. He's just eating and talking, and I wondered, and then one thing that's it's kind of funny is I watched a couple of Sam Sulek videos. I didn't watch them completely. I just skipped through both of them, but I watched a little bit of them. And ever since then, YouTube has been recommending to me videos of other people doing the same thing as Sulek, and these people don't have anywhere near the views that Sulek has. But I saw one guy, and his videos are getting 250 views a video, 300 views a video, 1,000 views sometimes, and he's doing. This is a different guy. I forgot his name, but he's doing the same exact thing that Sulek is doing. He's lifting weights. He's showing what he's eating. He's talking in front of the camera, and he almost had the same style of talking as Sulek, as if my. I could be wrong, but I assume that this guy is following the style of Sulek. So other people started jumping in the bandwagon of this style of doing things, and I always wondered, but they weren't getting anywhere near the views. Why? Well, maybe you can say because Sulek is the first, right? He's the first guy that take us back to the old school style of doing weightlifting videos on YouTube. Yeah, that's true. That's true. When you're the first, it's difficult to replace you or eclipse you. But at the same time, these other guys, they didn't have the same look and the same voice. Sulek has a look. He looks kind of goofy. I don't know how to say it. It's like the long hair, the hat, the whole thing. Not goofy. Goofy's not the right word, but it's kind of unique, right? He has a character. It gives him character. The long hair, the hat, the face. He has his own unique face. I mean, we all have our own unique face, but there's something about the hat and the hair. And then he's this jacked up, huge bodybuilder, but he doesn't act cocky. And his voice is unique. He has a unique voice. He has a good, what I would call a radio voice. And that voice is something, I think it's something you're born with. But here's what I'll say. Using Sam Sulek's YouTube channel as a example. A lot of bodybuilders, we call them meatheads. They are associated with obnoxious behavior. So when we see a bodybuilder, we think, oh, we tend to associate them with obnoxious behavior. Being a meathead, screaming and yelling and all this stuff. But Sulek comes in and he acts really humble. And he has the look of a bodybuilder, and he has he has this long hair and a hat, and these things give him character. But he doesn't as far as the way he talks and the way he conducts himself in front of the camera, he doesn't follow the stereotype of what we think, the stereotype that we think of when we think of bodybuilder. So one thing I've noticed is that when you have a harmony between a strong character and a humble character, you put them together, it's something that really, really works well. So for example, bodybuilder, right? We think bodybuilder, strong. He's physically strong. We like the strength part, but we don't like the obnoxiousness that we think of when we think of bodybuilders. But when we see bodybuilder, but he's really low, he's really laid back, he's really humble. We really like that. We admire that. And that makes that person a character that we admire. And there's so many different examples of this that I can think of. Asmongold is another example of this. He's a guy who still lives in the same house that he grew up in. He lives in the same house that he was living in when he was in high school. He's been in the same house he's in the same house that he was living in when he first started his YouTube channel. He's been streaming in the same room since he began streaming and doing YouTube videos. His house is filthy, but at the same time, he's a millionaire, and he's actually really good at talking in front of a camera. People really like that. Like, wow, here's a guy who's a celebrity, he's got all this money, but he's doing like Reese's Pieces reviews in front of a camera. There's something about that people like. Why do people like this? I don't know. I'm just observing things. But this is everything I've noticed. Now, if you have a guy who is filthy and his room is filthy like Asmongold's room is, and it's just filthy as hell and it's just garbage, but he gets in front of the camera and he's whimpering and complaining all the time, and his voice is screechy and he's depressed all the time, that guy's not going to get anywhere. Because yes, he has this dirty room, but his personality reflects the dirty room. When you have a dirty room, but your personality doesn't reflect it, and you're a millionaire and you're really successful, people are like, wow, this guy still lives in the same house. He hasn't moved. His room's a mess. He's a mess. He doesn't shower. He looks like a Neanderthal. But damn it, he's really good at communicating, and he's really funny, and he is wealthy, and he's rich. Oh my God. Tony Robbins. Somebody said that was better than Tony Robbins. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm a meathead, and I've been on the big but meek train for a while. I'm not saying... let me clarify. I'm not saying everyone is that way. I'm saying that there is a stereotype for the meathead. That the meathead is obnoxious and this and that and this. But when you have someone who beats the stereotype, people are magnetized to that. It's like if you got a homeless dude, but the dude's a genius, right? He's homeless, but the dude could recite Shakespeare. He could tell you all about Shakespearean plays. He knows everything about Hamlet and Macbeth, and he knows about all these philosophers, and he's super articulate, and he has that radio voice. You're like, wow, this dude should do a YouTube channel. And I can guarantee you, if that type of homeless dude, if he does exist, ever did a YouTube channel, people be donating money to him. He'd buy a freaking house. People love contrast in a human being. They do. They love it. They get drunk off of it. I don't know. Why is that? I don't know. People love it. They love the guy who's a monk, but he's a knight at the same time. He's a monk. He's a knight. Now, if you have a guy who's just a monk, and he's staying in his little monastery, and he's praying all day, and that's all he does, you could say, well, that's nice. But if you have a guy who's a monk, and he's meditating, and he's practicing asceticism, and he's fasting, but at the same time, this dude knows how to kill people with a sword. And he knows how to put armor on and ride a horse. Oh my, for some reason, something in our little heads just clicks and we go, that is admirable. Now, I kind of know why. Because he's spiritual, but at the same time, he applies his spirituality in a way that's very, very important and can actually help people and defend people. And we become so filled with admiration for that. We love contrast. We love people who have contrast. We love a story about a guy, maybe he's a criminal, right? Maybe he's like a minor petty thief or something like that. But at the same time, he like saved 60 people from a burning building. Like, this dude's got a record. He was a petty criminal, but damn it, look at that, right? And maybe it's like our natural human desire for redemption. Maybe that's where that comes from. I don't know. I can't fully explain the root of where that comes from, but we love it. We love a guy who's like, we see some, oh, like that jiu-jitsu dude. What's it, the Italian-American guy? I forgot his name, but he's this Brazilian jiu-jitsu dude who, if you look at him from face value, he's looks like a nerd. Glasses. He's not super big, but the dude's a killer. He's like jiu-jitsu champion, submitting everyone. But you look at him in front of the camera, he's like, "Hi guys, hi." Yeah, he fits in a way. He fits the stereotype of a nerd. At the same time, though, the guy's a killer. He's an elite athlete, jiu-jitsu dude. Now, if you have a guy who's a jiu-jitsu dude who's really good at jiu-jitsu, but he's super obnoxious, he mistreats his Musumeci. Yeah, this guy, Musumeci. Yes, this is the guy. Thank you for that, Jack LaShawn. If you look at it, if you have a guy who's really good at jiu-jitsu, right, but he's super obnoxious about it. He talks shit about the people that he taps out. He beats a guy in his tournament, and then he says, "Oh yeah, that guy was nothing. I dominated him." That guy becomes a villain. And the only reason why that guy becomes popular, or one of the main reason why I would argue that guy becomes popular, is because everyone's waiting for him to be defeated. They're waiting for the Clark Kent nerd to come out and beat him. Perfect example. Conor McGregor versus Khabib, whose last name none of us know how to pronounce. Conor McGregor, the biggest thing ever in UFC. Obnoxious, rude, loud. Irish. I'm not being racist, but he was Irish. He basically, forgive me. Any Irish people listening, forgive me for this, but this is just my observation. People back in the day in America didn't like Irish people. And if you ever read about how Anglo-Americans described Irish people and how English people described Irish people, they describe Irish people as what? Criminals. They're filled with criminality, loud, annoying, blah, 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 right? Maybe violent. Just imagine a whole horde of Conor McGregor coming into your country from a giant boat in the 1800s. You were like, oh God, these Conor McGregors are coming. No, the Irish are coming. So he was loud, obnoxious, annoying, Irish. All jokes. This is all a joke. Don't take this part seriously, but it's a big joke. But people were waiting for him to fail. They were waiting for him to be defeated. That's what they were waiting for. We're waiting for this villain to get defeated. The hero comes in, Khabib. Khabib was what? He was humble, took care of his father, lived with his dad, never showed his wife, never said, oh, here's my beautiful nothing. We don't even know how his wife looks like. Doesn't show his wife. Totally humble guy, religious, right? Prays every day, goes to mosque. But the guy was a killer. I mean, the guy was a freaking killer. You see a lot of these fighters coming in from Dagestan. I mean, I saw the one fight that happened last night. It was Islam versus Poirier, or whatever his name is. The dude from Louisiana. Islam took Dustin Poirier or whatever, and just treated him like a ragdoll. I watched it. I mean, I watched the whole fight. It was like a ragdoll. Just played with him. That's what Khabib did to Conor McGregor. Just mauled him. Exactly. Mauled him, treated him like a ragdoll. I mean, just treated him like he was a redheaded orphan girl. He had him in a position, and he's just like punching him because Conor McGregor was talking so much shit. He was like, oh, your wife's a goat. You're banging a goat. I'm like really getting personal. So Khabib is just beating the shit out of him. And you can hear Khabib telling McGregor, you want to talk? Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. I'm going to beat your ass. Let's talk. Hitting him. I mean, treating him like nothing. The average person would be killed by McGregor. But Khabib treating him like he's like I said, a little orphan, a little redheaded orphan in some movie, in a Broadway show. I mean, boom, 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 boom. After that round, McGregor approaches Khabib and says, listen, man, it ain't nothing personal. You don't have to get personal about this. Khabib don't care, because he comes from a culture where you say something about, where you make a sexual joke about someone's wife, something bad's going to happen to you. He comes from that culture. But Khabib, he had that contrast, humble, religious, but a killer. People love that. McGregor was obnoxious, loud. He was good at fighting, and he made that very obvious. But he didn't have a contrast. McGregor doesn't have a contrast. It's just, he's just Irish. That's it. There's no uniqueness. It's just, I'm an Irish guy from the pub who's going to beat your ass. Now, that was his character. And people loved his character. Like I said, the biggest thing in UFC history was McGregor. People loved his character. But there were also a lot of people waiting for him to get beat. And they were looking for the hero. And that hero was Khabib. People love. I can think of other examples. For example, you have actors who are really famous, super famous actors, but they're snobby and they mistreat their fans. And the fans come over. Oh, let me take a picture with you. Get the hell out of here. Let me get your autograph. Get out of here. But then you have actors. He looks like He looks like ISIS. Yes. And you know what? If I was given the choice, Ted, you can hang out with Khabib or you can hang out with McGregor. I kind of want to hang out with Khabib because I want to kind of hang out in those Circassian mountains because it looked really cool. But at the same time, if I really had to make that choice, I think I would choose Conor McGregor to hang out with. Because at least, you see, with McGregor, we're going to hang out. We're going to have a great time. We're going to smoke some cigars, have a good dinner, I can't drink, but have some laughs, and that's it. With Khabib, everything's going to be philosophical, religious. Now, I don't have a problem with that. But if I say one thing about Islam, and if I tell him my dad left Islam, you may have problems. So I would much prefer to hang out with McGregor than Khabib because, like you said, he looks like ISIS. Now, with that said, from a marketing standpoint, Khabib is popular because he has that contrasting character. I have not seen Joker 2. I have seen Joker, though. Mr. Joaquin Phoenix. What was I going to tell you guys? So yeah, you have actors who are super famous, right? But they treat their fans like garbage. Then you have Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, he played Neo. John Wick. Right? But he's so humble. Look at him, he's so nice. There's a video of Keanu Reeves sitting down in some random spot somewhere, eating ice cream from a cone. Oh, he's so normal. There's a video of Keanu Reeves in a subway, and he gets up and lets a woman take his seat. Oh, he's so humble. So why is that so seductive? Why is that so favorable in our eyes as a people? Because he's famous. He's super rich. But he's super humble. Now, if he's just a normal dude, he's not famous, not rich, and you see him getting up to allow a woman to take his seat, you could say, well, that's really nice of that guy. But your thoughts are not going to go beyond that. You're going to say to yourself, really cool guy, he's a nice guy. Right? That's a really nice thing that he did there. It's admirable. But it's not going to go beyond that. But a famous person acts super nice. Wow, he's famous and he's nice, because we have this stereotype in our heads that famous person is not supposed to be nice. He's supposed to be rude and aloof and not want to talk to his fans. So when we see someone who's famous, but he's willing to humble himself, we admire that. I don't make the rules, but this is just human nature.